Hey guys, my name is Citiac and welcome back to another City Skyline experiment video where you've probably already seen the thumbnail. You've probably already seen the title. Yep, it's that time where we do something with poop again. Basically guys, this save game that we're currently have right now is the exact save game of the time that we completely emptied the ocean, where we completely drained the ocean full of water, and it went really well. If you want to see that video, it's on the channel somewhere. Just simply search no sea or something like that, I don't know. And I'm using that save game now because it has no sea. Well, it kind of does, but it doesn't. And we're going to try and replace the sea, what's basically what once was the sea, with poop. So we're going to need a lot of sewage stuffs. A lot of things, a lot of majigs to try and fill up this whole place with poo right now. It's going to be kind of crazy. So if I just pause it for a second, you can kind of see the outline of where the water once was. If you did see that episode where I completely drained the ocean, then you kind of know where I am right now. I kind of built the land around the edges and then put the kind of water pumping station to kind of suck it all up. And it completely drains it. There's a couple of inlet routes where the water can flow in, but it pretty much gets handled with, it pretty much gets dealt with, which is really good. And I'm going to try and replace all of this now with sewage water, with poo, with the brown stuff, with the good stuff, you know, it wouldn't be a Ceniac video if there wasn't poo every so often, was there? So, continuing from that, that amazing introduction, there's a few things I need to kind of adjust for this, to be honest. So what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to actually kind of get rid of any of these little inlets that we currently have right now. If I go to bring the movie tool up and I just kind of highlight a lot of this stuff and delete it. There we go. Use our terrain tool. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to block it off from the sea. Oh, that's not wrong one, the brush size. I want to block it off from the sea for now. So I can, you know, build up the sewage, build up the water, all that kind of stuff there to try and get it to flow. So that's kind of what I need to do. So I'm going to close off every entry point that we have right now in here. I probably don't have to really get rid of the pumping stations just yet. But I do my best here to kind of fill it all up. And then just over here now, I'm going to do a bigger brush size as well, so I can do it in one sweep, which is glorious. There we go. So there's no connection to the border of the map. That means water can't flow out. That means water cannot flow out, so everything inside is going to be poop. So you're probably thinking, well, if there's no borders to the outside, to the sea, are you just creating a big poop lake? Well, we kind of are, yes. But once we've created the poop lake, I'll open up the sea borders again and let the water flow out. And it will be really a poop sea. So we'll try our best on this one then. So there's many things I got to do. Currently right now, surrounded by the edges is pumping kind of things. What are they called? Pumping stations. I kind of need to get rid of those. And if I can do it in a nice big line. I mean, I don't want to get rid of the ones on the outside because they're helping pump up water to keep it from flooding. If that makes sense. So we'll try our best right now. How far can we go with this? Right, get rid. And what I need to do, I need to replace them all with sewage pumps. So by replacing it with sewage pumps, it then puts sewage into all of this. But I need to make sure I get rid of, you know, all the pumps. So it's really just these two sides here, that's really good for me. I'll go as far as they can and keep going before it takes some of the other side. And I'm not too sure how it's going to work with the actual pipes as well that we have underneath. So it's slightly overflowing, which it's going to do that until it kind of settles itself anyway. So it's all good. So as of right now, then we've got this big open plain. Hopefully I can get the sewage up to where the original level was. I don't know if I'm going to, but we'll give it a good go. So we'll start, actually, you know what? We'll start on this side over here. Seeing as the water's not overflowing or doing anything much or anything too dangerous. Now, in terms of water, there is... oh, can I use this? Oh, I can use this as well. To delete any pipes. So this is what I need to do as well. I need to make sure that this is all pretty much gone. Because this is what will probably end up stopping me from placing it all out. Now, I've done little kind of challenges like this where we try and fill up stuff with poop before, and there is a really good way to do it. You're probably thinking out of these two here, forget the eco ones, out of these two here, you're probably thinking this is the best one to use. Well, you're probably thinking, you know, you're kind of semi-right, it is, in terms of shifting a lot. You got to think of the spacing. It does 160,000 squared, well, whatever it is, 160,000 draining capacity, where this one is 120, so it's 40 less. But you got to think, right, how many of these, and, wait, which way is it going? Right, we need to turn it around. How many of these can you fit in the space of where you can have one of those? Pretty much 3. So 3 of those equal the draining capacity is like literally double, quadruple, almost quadruple this. So that's why we kind of go for these ones. But it does take a little bit longer to kind of get them all set up. Now, the great thing is I got an auto clicker on my computer, which makes it somewhat a little bit easier to kind of get them all in. Right, so let's kind of get rid of all that. And let's go now to our pumping. And I want to get it to about there. So if I follow that line right now, let me just get it just right. There we go. Enable my auto clicker, which I don't think it's enabled. It's not even turned on. Okay, I've just turned it on right now. There we go. Let's try that one again. So, have I pressed the button? Yeah. Auto clicker, no. Okay, right, now it's working. I think I closed it. I wasn't sure what I did, but let's try that one again. I think the challenge today is trying to get my auto clicker to work. So press the button. There we go. So I can now follow the line, and if I just kind of disable it every so often, and then there we go. So it allows me to kind of get them in just a little bit quicker, and then the same thing I could do then pretty much for the water supply. And they need power, but they are semi-connected. So without building a population in a city, will these work? That is the question on everybody's lips right now. Or butt cheeks in terms of this. So that pretty much fills it up. But look at that. Already pushing out the sewage water, which is glorious. Absolutely glorious. Not all of them are fully working. I'm not sure why. But that's doing a pretty good job. Now imagine these all the way up here, all the way down here, and so on and so on. You get the point of it. Could you imagine that? How amazing that would be? I'm not sure why not all of them are being used, but hey-ho. We'll see how it goes. So with that said, let's do this. Right, so auto clicker time. You can now see how crazy this is going to be. I'll fill in the gaps that it makes. Right, so if I stop it there, and then the little gaps that it made, I squeeze one in there. Okay, can't get one in there, but I can get a couple in here. Okay, up to there. Right. Now this is the hard bit. Is trying to get the pipes to be hooked up to this. Sometimes it misses some out. The ring ding ding a linging in my ear is crazy. But hopefully all those are pretty... Like, oh my goodness me. The sheer pumping power that we have right now. Oh, I only just realised that it is somewhat a little bit far away from the edge. So we kind of need to fix that slightly. So yeah, there is a slight bend to the land. So if I can create that or do that, hopefully it stops. Yeah, there we go. We've stopped the sewage from overflowing. And look at that! Already it's done that. This is crazy. So we could actually fill this up quite easy. Easier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realise how much pumping power those were going to have. Oh no. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life when I'm doing challenges or experiments like this? But I mean, guys, you've all have got to thought at some point or another, is it possible to completely transform the sea into poop water, into that brown chocolatey goodness? I wouldn't say brown. I gotta stop saying brown chocolatey goodness because it's not that. It can't be that. Please don't even talk like that anymore, Seniac. Right, let's do this side then. So, in terms of pipe work, I just want to kind of get rid of any existing pipes because it does mess us up slightly when we try and get it all in. So we'll get to this point here. Now we'll do this side so we can try and almost get like an even base to it. So let me turn that round because the blue circle is where the water goes out to. And of course, it's auto clicker time. So again, trying to watch that curve. Right, there we go. We'll go that far, which is very far. Fill in the odd little gap here, there, and everywhere. Because those extra ones that I placed down could be all the pumping power I need. You never know. Right, this is the difficult one. It's just trying to get them all connected. We managed to do it last time, but in the past experiments I've had issues, but especially when I tried to... You know what? I feel like it's actually a little bit easier because they're closer together. The reason I had issues in the past is with the draining stations that we got when we originally did the original experiment on this map. Because they're so big and the pipe gap is so wide, like between each one, it was a little bit more difficult to get them all in. But this seems to be doing it justice. Perfect. Right. That's connected. Do they have power? So they're not connected to power in any way, shape, or form. So we drop down a bunch of windmills just because. Just because. And then we watch it all happen. We're creating a Sani? What? No. A tsunami of poop. We're not creating a Sani of poop, guys. That is completely different Sani altogether. That's a sandwich. But, yeah, we're going to get some floods here, there, and everywhere until the water... Well, I say the water, until the poop settles. But we have to have that constant flood in because eventually it will just kind of go to us, like, somewhere and then eventually die off. That's what water does in the game. So if we can have that constant flow, we could have the sea. And what's crazy as well is the fact that now the original sea sand has now grown to grass. It's kind of difficult to see where the sea line or the kind of shoreline now is. It's following that curve. You can kind of tell here where the trees are. So that kind of makes sense, but it's kind of cool and weird all at the same time. It's got lots of flooding. We'll let it settle itself and sort itself out and what it's going to do over time. But it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, guys. We've created the sewage water for days. Right, let's do two sides here and there. I won't do it on the bend here. We'll do it either side so we can get like multiple in. So let's try this one more on this time. And let's rotate. Oh, the blue is where the sewage comes out. So auto click. And we just keep going and going and going. Obviously, the more I have in, the better. But let's now turn the auto clicker off and just get in the gaps where I can, because there was quite a few gaps I had. More so here. Okay, right. This is the interesting one again. But we've done well up until this point. So keep the ring ding ding a linging going. Right, that is all done. Oh, there we go. We'll just get it connected over there. Do they have power? Well, they're going to need some power. So I'll just get a few extra of these in. And that should be enough. Right, let's fast forward and watch it all happen. So it's now on this side. You can now see the waves of poop coming in. So I was actually thinking for the longest time, like leading up to doing this kind of challenge or experiment, is the fact that I was thinking, do you know what? It's going to take so long. It is going to take so long to fill up C with poo. And then I thought to myself, even if I do, it's just going to die out very, very quickly. And now, from the small little bit of drainage that I've put in, and how much it spreads, and how much it is now going to cover and fill up, it's actually quite possible. It is quite possible. So there will be, I need to kind of also find that balance point too. Let me just go into the free camera mode. I got to find that balance point too, where I don't overfill the sea, and then we have to create that kind of exit point as well, so we can hook it all back up to the sea. But right now, it works. It absolutely works. It's just going to take some time to fill up. But guys, I am literally going to replace the whole sea right now with poop. It seems hilarious to say that. So this side looks like it's going to get filled up nicely. And that's because we have some outlets there. This side's got bigger gaps, so it needs some outlets over here too. So let's set that up as well. So I'll do this stage now, and then let's pause it a second. We'll do this stage. And then we'll come back a little bit later and see how well it's done. Oh, wait, well, actually, is that? Yeah, that should be okay. A little bit lower than what I wanted it to be. Oh, I guess still got auto clicker on. A little bit lower than what I wanted it to be, but it should technically still work. Alright, I'm trying to... There we go. Sometimes the auto clicker is good. Sometimes it can be a big, big pain. Right, there we go. Couple of those down. Fast forward. And it should drop the goods. Which it is. Obviously, not all of it is being powered. And whatnot. So I don't know whether we need to, like, every so often put, like, a little... something like that in. Does that connect up the ones that are not fully there? I don't know how it chooses which ones work and which ones don't. I don't know how that takes place. But we've got the crisscross waves. We've got it all going on right now. So I think the longest point of this is waiting for it to all be filled up. But we've got this much filled up already. Let's go free camera. We've got this much filled up already, which is almost the entirety of the whole sea that we originally had. So this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. Again, they just got to give it some time. Now we got this side over here set up, which is a little bit shorter than that side, but that's fine. It should now get into all the little nooks and crannies and all the corners. It's just going to take some time. And guys, luckily for us, time is all we have. So some time has passed. And you can see that the shoreline of where it is, and now it's being pushed a little bit higher than it should have been. I think that's a sign of we really have started to fill up the sea right now with poop. What I've done as well is where the original outlets were to the sea, I've put some more pumping stations around, or sewage stations, we're going to call them. Sewage outlets. So when the fresh water tries to go in, hopefully it meets the resistance of the poop, and the poop gets pushes itself out. So we can create a flow out. As long as we create a flow out, we're going to constantly have this sea of poop. Kind of done the same over here. I might have to put some stuff on the outskirts there, around the edges, just to see how it goes. Ooh, little spinsies. Done the same over here too. I know, kind of good stuff, and obviously we've got the original stuff down as well. But now is the you can tell the most with how the kind of water pushes itself up against the shoreline, because that's where you're going to see it kind of rise the most, because it's not met with such resistance as if it would be against, for example, this huge bump we've got there. So we can now start to see it overfilling, and it's hitting the road. So now technically right, the poop level of this sea is higher than what the normal sea level would be. Now, there is a way to kind of find out if that is true, but it's kind of difficult at the same time to do it. Right. Look at the level on it here versus over here. It's kind of really difficult to tell. It really, really is. So what we're going to do now then is let's go back to the terraforming. And just for now, we'll open up the little outlets. So it goes from becoming a poop. There we go. Going from becoming a poop lake to then officially becoming the poop sea, as what we want it to be the whole time. So I ain't worried about it too much that, you know, I've kind of flattened it in between some stations. It doesn't really matter. I'll leave this one as it is, because I want to see how it kind of... I want to see what happens. Does it go out? Does it come in? It's easy. It's going to be really easy to tell anyway. So it's going to be met with resistance to begin with, and then ultimately one of them should prevail. And I just don't know which one it's going to be. So it looks like the sewage... Yeah, okay. So it looks like the sewage is pumping itself out, so the sewage is going to win this battle. Well, in that corner anyway. You know what? In that corner too. It's a good job that we don't have any residents, because now it's going to be sucked up by the pumping stations. That's kind of going out a little bit, not as much as you expect, but it's still, from this side, still filling in anyway. It's going out over there too. So yeah, it looks like the big POO is going to win this battle. It's going to win this battle. And I'm interested to see over time now, how much does this then retreat a little bit? We'll open up these sea gates here, this flooded wall. There we go. Do on this side too. So a couple more outlets there. So at least it can be pushed out rather than coming straight in. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, how it goes. Look how quick the water's flowing out of there. So that shows you it is going out. It's hitting some of the road right now, which we don't really want that to happen. But again, time will tell. Oh, do you know what? I think it is starting to go back a bit, because now it's not going over the road. Oh, no, there we go. It's going back over the road again. I think they're just like the general waves that are hitting it. So just look at, like, it's flowing out there. It's flowing out here. I think... Guys, I think this has been a success. Even if all else fails right now, we completely flood the whole map, including the mountains behind. It's a huge success. We have literally replaced the sea with poop. Why? I do not know. It's actually filling up quite a bit more, isn't it? Okay, why I do not know, but it's still good. So we'll create some more little outlets here. So we'll just do the odd little outlet or two just going out. Do the same over here. I'm not sure if... I'm hoping this will do the same thing. Pushes the sewage water out. I'm just giving it more outlets to kind of disperse, because as soon as it gets to the edge of the map, it disappears. And then if we can then get the sea level to be all on the same level, then technically it shouldn't be up here. It should be just on the border going round there. But only time will tell, guys. Right, is it going out now? Yeah, and I think the reason it's going out is because technically this is a higher level. The poop level there is higher than this, so it does flood out. But the only negative that we do have is that there is so many pumping stations. It's just going to suck up the sewage water before the fresh water can hit it. But in some areas it is overspilling. Some areas it is overspilling. So, yeah. The fact that we can now see more of a shoreline, more sand, shows you that the water is slightly retreating. Only slightly, though. Why do I do these things? I don't know myself. I honestly don't know myself, and some of these vehicles are getting stuck up in poop. I mean, I've drove my car out on the road after I've got it cleaned, and then you return home after like a couple of mile journey. Notice that you kicked up some dust on the road, and you got a little bit of dirt back on the car, on your freshly clean car. How do these guys explain the poop? It's like I was driving the highway and I went through a poop puddle. Could you not see? The sea's poop. It's a weird one, isn't it? It definitely is a weird one. So I feel like we've brought it down a little bit, but still not enough. There is some outlets, but it's still not enough. But you can tell. You can tell that the poop level is higher than the sea level. So let's do it in big chunks now. It says up my brush size, and we flatten it in a wider spectrum. There. In a wider spectrum here. And then all the way over this side, which feels like forever and a day to get there. Do it down to there. So wider spectrums now to push it all out. So you can see, you can slightly see the waves as it comes down in stages. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I cannot believe we've done it. I cannot believe we have officially replaced the sea with poo. They said it was impossible, guys. They said it would never work. Look at us now. Poo for days. This is gotta be the weirdest experiment I've ever done. And I've done some weird experiments. Let's just put it that way. Guys! I hope you did enjoy this fun little experiment of replacing the sea with poo. It worked. It sure did. I mean, it takes a lot of draining and pumping. But it worked. That is all I can say. It worked. I would not like to live next to the sea of poop. This is global warming at its finest. This is why you shouldn't put plastic in the sea and all that kind of jazz. Recycle. That is the main message I want you to take from this episode. But anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy it. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.